What's good, everybody? Welcome back. So I've decided to take a little break from the wide body and the front bumper just for a day, and I want to look at something that I've been meaning to do for a little while. I just didn't really know what I wanted to do about the process of doing it. So the PCV system has been an eyesore for me. All the tubes, the very bland black that's in the engine bay, I wanted to give it some color or make it a little bit more organized. My initial thought process was to order the dress-up kit for the 370s off of Z1 with the colored tubes and make that work. Speed Culture Studios, he bought the kit and had some issues with the silicone tubing fitting on the car. After some cutting, he made it work, but it wasn't ideal, and the Z1 logos weren't even visible. So he recommended that if you're going to try to dress up the engine bay, to not buy that kit. So I'm going to take his word for it, and I'm going to look at doing something a little different. My second thing I decided to do is to go ahead and do a PCV delete. I've looked at the forums, both Nissan and Infiniti alike, and it's pretty mixed across the board on whether a PCV system is better for the car, it's worse for the car, or if it's necessary at all. All the reading that I've done has resulted in nothing catastrophically damaging that could mess the car up. If anything, it just helps eliminate the chance of getting oil in the throttle bodies, and it cleans up the engine bay a little bit. Now, I know there's a kit that was made for about 160 bucks, maybe 180 after shipping, that you could buy that would replace your PCV system. But it still threw in a bunch of really awkward long tubes, and a lot of the parts that came in the kit I felt like I'd seen before in stores and online for a whole lot cheaper. So my goal today is to do a PCV delete, DIY style, with stuff that I ordered online that wasn't part of that kit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up the box and show you some of the stuff that I bought. And then from there, I'll explain briefly what I'm going to do with each part, what my thought process is on that part, and why I bought it. And then we'll go into dismantling, modifying, and reinstalling. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so I would like to briefly reiterate that before I started this process, I knew nothing about what the PCV system did. So I looked into it, and once I found out that the PCV system stood for positive crankcase ventilation, I started looking at the history. I realized that before the crankcase system was built and designed, that the gases escaped via atmospheric conditions, which caused a series of issues. Gases would escape through seals and gaskets, causing premature gasket and seal failure, which caused engine damage and problems. Would escape in the means of oil as well, and oil would build up on the outside of the motor and then drip down onto the ground, causing, damage to the soil and stuff like that. So they developed this PCV system to recirculate the gases through the intake manifold back into the crankcase to keep it more healthy and clean. I spent a lot of time searching, trying to figure out what the best method of doing this was, and this is what I've come up with from looking around, that I can't find anywhere that makes a two-way valve that replaces the PCV valve, other than buying that $180 kit. So my thought process on it was to buy replacement valves. I bought these for $9 a piece off of eBay. The way a PCV valve works is there is a flap at the bottom and a bearing on the inside. When the gas pressure gets high, it pushes the seal opens, the bearing releases, the gases escape into the intake manifold and are recirculated. By eliminating the flap, removing the bearing and all the internals of this valve, I would essentially be making a one-way valve into a two-way valve, allowing air through here to breathe in the crankcase and allowing gases to escape from here out of the valve. In order to make sure that oil doesn't find its way out of the valve and onto the ground, I went ahead and purchased two breathers off of eBay as well. As you can see, they are small micro breathers. They're not very big. They have a 9mm inlet, which is ideal size for the PCV valve, as you can see. They were around $5 a piece, and this will help eliminate some of the oil transfer from the crankcase to, the environment. So I bought two of those. The next thing I noticed about the kit online was that they had these little bypass caps included in the kit. I went to AutoZone, asked around, and the AutoZone attendant gave me this little pack here. It has standard size bypass caps that all should fit on my intake ports and on the auxiliary ports on the crankcase. So by blocking those off and using my breathers and my aftermarket modified PCV valves, I should be able to make this work. For the intake tubes, I don't have factory intake tubes. I bought the Z1 tubes. I bought the tubes used. The owner prior to me removed the metal adapter that goes from the intake tube to the valve assembly and lost it. So I now have a hole that can't be capped off. But what I can do, I measured the caps, I measured the hole size, it's a 1/2 inch. I went on Amazon and for $1.97 I bought 2 PVC plugs that are a 1/2 inch in diameter that will plug into the intake manifold and seal those ports. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the disassembly and talk briefly on these parts as we get to it. So before I get into disassembly of the engine itself, I wanna make sure that I can actually drill these out and not break them, because it'd be a waste of time doing everything first just to break these in the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and I got my drill here. Got my drill bits. I'll go ahead and drill this out. Hopefully it all goes well, and then we'll move into the next step. Everything's hollowed out, as you can see, straight through. Here's the original port, and there is the new port. I enlarged the port as well in the process of removing all the innards. Got it all cleaned out, so everything is good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out this one, and then we'll move on. There we have it, 2 emptied out one-way valves, now 2-way valves. Now I can go ahead and start into the rest of the disassembly of the engine bay and getting everything else put in. So I'm gonna try to do this with as little disassembly as possible. So let me look here and survey what I'm dealing with. So I know these 2 ports need to come off here, and then they need to come off down here where they're attached to the PCV valves on this side and right here on this side. And then this back tube runs back and goes in there. And then this little system here with the box comes down and sits right there. So I think I can get to most of this without taking the intakes out. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the intake in and hope for the best as I get the rest of these components off of here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, I guess. Alright, the passenger side tubing is out. The driver side tubing is out. Now, I just got to get the PCV valves taken off, replaced with the new ones, and then we'll start putting all of the plugs back on and hope for the best. As you can see, my attempt at doing this without taking the intake off was a big failure. Everything would have worked, except in order to tighten the breather down onto the new PCV valve, two-way, I had to get to the screw, and I couldn't get to the screw to tighten it down without removing the intake. So while the time lapse was on, I installed the breather, tightened the screw on the breather, I installed the caps on the intake valves, on the intake manifold valves, and I'm going to hold them on with a set of zip ties. I'll cut this one down, and then I'll apply the zip tie to the other one, and this should be good to go for these two. The back plug, as you can see right there, is a good fit. It's nice and snug. I think I'm gonna take the original clamp off of the old tube and put right on top of this one to lock that one down. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up, button the intake back together, get the other intake off, and then I'll push through and bring you back to it in a second. As you can see, everything is back in. The clamp fit on this plug back here just fine. That's cinched down, that's down. Only thing left to do is fill in this little hole right here on the intake tube. And to do that, I got this little plug here. Now eventually, I think I'll paint this plug black just for aesthetic value. But for now, since it's starting to get late and I gotta get the car on the road for tomorrow so I can drive to work, I'll go ahead and plug this now. So I'm just gonna slip it in here, give it a push, and there we go. Now, I can take another one of those clamps off the old kit, put on this one, and lock this down. Just like that right there. And that's not going anywhere. So now, I'll go ahead and knock out this side on time lapse, get everything butted up, clipped, cut, and plugged, and we'll be good to go. Everything's installed, everything's tightened down and secured. Now let's go ahead and turn on the car and see what we get. It sounds like it's running fine. I think we can call it good. While the car was running, I went ahead and took a listen. I didn't hear any air escaping. I didn't hear anything that sounded unusual. So I'm gonna say that this was a success. So overall, it was a quick and easy job. Food for thought, take the intakes out first, so that way you don't have to worry about it after the fact. For 50 or 60 bucks worth of parts, I was able to do what that kit online did for $180. Now granted, I ran my breathers a little bit differently, but I don't think it should matter much. Now, if anybody knows more about this than I do, go ahead and mention in the comments if this will work, if it's an effective way to do this. If not, I can always fix it and modify it later. So that's all I have for now. If you are enjoying the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification for any future announcements, and I will get you guys on the next one.